All right, welcome to the Bearded Nomad Van Life. We've got the official first night usage of the diesel heater. And let me tell you, this 8 kilowatt diesel heater, this thing is going to keep me warm. I am not going to have an issue with staying warm in this thing all winter. That unit, the only downside is it doesn't change the Fahrenheit, so I got it saved on my Google page in my phone to open up and do the calculation from Celsius to Fahrenheit. But 20 some degrees Celsius is like 70 some degrees Fahrenheit, and there was time I still got to fine tune and adjust between having the max air fan and vent open, either blowing in or sucking out, or just leaving it closed and turning it on as a ceiling fan to circulate the air. But this thing actually, with the curtain closed, kept the back of the van so warm last night, perfectly warm. And then this morning it was warm back here, but yet when I pulled the curtain, stuck my hand up under the curtain, because I had to cut the curtain so that it stays up here. I had to cut it across, but I reached my hand up front, and up front in the cab was cold, but yet all the heat in the back, it was beautiful. So yesterday I put a gallon of fuel in, because that's all I had money wise at the time. Put a gallon of fuel in, and I probably used, with startup, priming the pump and the line, and then when I finally started it, it did smoke a lot, so that means I had the heater full of diesel, so I probably wasted a little bit there. And then while trying to learn the display, because the manual that you get with these cheap diesel heaters, they're backwards assed translation, wording, some of the stuff that it told me in the book that showed for the section that was supposed to be for my display. Pushing what it said to do didn't work. Watching YouTube videos and trying to do what those people were doing with the display looked exactly the same as mine, didn't work. And then I found a YouTube video, like for priming, I actually had to hold the up and down button at the same time, which is not what it tells me to do in the manual. So if you get a Chinese diesel heater, just know that you're gonna have to watch a couple different YouTube videos. You're either doing the OK and the down button till it comes up with the H-OF, and then you down arrow to turn it to H-ON. That primes the pump. In some cases, that is the ticket. Other cases, whatever your manual says, hopefully if it's worded better than mine was. Or in my case, I had to hit up and down arrow same time, hold it, and I actually had to hold it while it was priming the pump. So, and then being that at first, until I learned, and then I had to go and find a YouTube video that I watched before on how to put this unit into night mode or plateau mode. Either way you want to look at it, I call it night mode. So it's like the guy did on his video, holding the OK and the setting button together at the same time, turns on a little mountain icon, and that little icon kicks down the heater. The combustion chamber temperature was 76 degrees this morning when I checked it, and it was keeping it just perfect at like low 70s in the van. All in all, these kits are nice. I can't complain. Mine's worked great. The only thing is that you're gonna have, depending on your installation. Oh look, a caboose! I can't believe they're still. Oh, they're going to General Mills. That's the only time they use the caboose. When they're putting cars in and out of some of these places. It's the only time they use. It's like they use. Norfolk Southern's got one lone caboose they use yet. That's a childhood memory for me right there, folks. My dad was driving down into Lebanon and I saw the gates coming down. I was screaming for him to get to be the first person at the gate so that I could wave to the man in the caboose at the end of the train. Childhood memories. But anyway, depending on these kits come with supposedly everything, and if I wouldn't have been gypped out of the, but I'm actually glad because, like I said on my other video I'll be uploading, my buddy Scott made this custom out of a 3/4 inch bolt, drilled it out, tapped the end for the fitting for the hose line, for the fuel line. I actually feel that this is way better and gonna not leak. I do believe. Smell of diesel. I think I'm actually gonna start running. I'm gonna go to Rutter's in Lebanon and actually get the off-road diesel for this, so it's a little bit cheaper, but I'm not sure if that's how that's going to affect the operation of the heater. I guess as long as before I shut it off this morning, I put it up on its H6. The settings is H1 to H6. Put it on H6 for about 10-15 minutes, then turned it down to H1 and turned it off. And it powered down, did its power down, cool down. So that should have the combustion chamber all cleaned out. And then the intake air to blow over the combustion housing. Now, gotta make sure I don't put anything up front here. But everything's sealed under the seat. The only thing left to do is loosen up the seat bolts and see if I can get the seat to slide in that way a little bit. Because when I close the door, this is a lot tighter than it used to be. So when I put the seat back in, I may have not got it exactly as it was before taking the seat out. But all in all, can't complain. This 8 kilowatt diesel heater is an absolute fabulous thing. I did have to, like I said in my other video, I think I talked about this. I'll be up. This is part 3 of the installation and complete, and then first night usage. It did have to cut out a little bit of this, and then of course what's left actually sits perfectly on here and holds this tight, because the unit itself actually had some, even though it's all tight to the mounting plate, screwed to the floor, it had some wiggle and wobble. So putting that on it like that actually has it perfectly snug. I can't complain. It's like a perfect fit. Just had to cut that out because of the higher main body, so that worked perfectly. I'm glad I didn't cut that the whole way out. And all in all, I think when I had it running, using my battery monitor, using my amps. Okay, right now, all I have, my fridge is running, so I'm drawing 2.76 amps. Last night, having my LED strip lights on, the fan on, and the heater, it would go between 1 point some odd amps and 2 point, like pretty much what it is now. and it would switch back and forth, and I realized that it was switching back to just over 2 point some amps every time the fuel pump would actually was pumping fuel. And then it would, in between, it would drop to the 1.7 or 1.6. So amperage usage, I mean, I stayed here at a campground in the Hershey campground last night, so I was plugged into shore power on that pole right there, which made it nice because that way I didn't have to worry about what my house battery's draining down too low. I was able to just focus on the heater and getting that set. But yeah, so still got more to learn with that. If I decide to want to I got to try to figure out how to set the timer, which means then it has to have a clock, but I can't seem to get into the clock to set the time. But the only thing that comes up is turning on a timer, and I'm not using a timer. I'm just going to manually on and off, and night mode and day mode. But yeah, so I'm actually very happy with it after its first night of use. It was perfect. Can't complain at all. So if anybody has any other questions about this heater, or if you're gonna, if you want, details or any assistance, and you're local to me here in Pennsylvania, or even just in Pennsylvania or the tri-state surrounding states of Pennsylvania, I'm for hire, more than willing and happy to, help people out and doing builds in a vehicle or installing heaters. And my fee would be way less than some of these professional build places, if you happen to have one in your area. I'm sure if you question them on what they would charge you, chances are I'd be able to do it for less. But then again, we don't really have a lot of van build places around here in this area that I'm aware of. So if anybody sees this and is interested, needs help, I am for hire. I work full time, but I can make time on weekends and whatnot. I also have a 10x20 storage that, depending on the size of the vehicle, if you're planning on building an SUV or a smaller vehicle out, I can definitely fit a part of the vehicle or most of the vehicle into my storage to work on it over the winter if need be. But if so, just hit me up, message, you can comment, or comment, and then we can get together, get contact information, and touch base, and then decide from there. And if it's something I can help you with, I'd be more than happy to, for just a small fee. I'm more or less doing it because I enjoy it, not to make a living at it, because I have a full-time job. So that's the review on the Chinese diesel heater, 8 kilowatt. If anybody wants to know exactly which one I have, comment, and then if you do, I can look on my Amazon and list the information for the exact one that I got. So, all right, that's it for today. Peace, love. Fight for love, not hate. And I'll catch you all in the next one.